Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're looking to get funded, we've got a solution for you. Our partnered prop firm FX2 Funding helps traders get access to up to $200,000 in trading capital. FX2 Funding is not your average prop firm. We've chosen them as our partner because of their fair examination rules, their professional and available customer service, and they have an outstanding reputation in the prop firm space. Here's a quick look at their evaluation process. First, they don't have a time limit on their evaluations. That means that you can take your time when passing your evaluation. There's no pressure to rush your trading. Second, there is only one phase to pass in their evaluation before getting access to your funded account. Also, their evaluation fees are fairly priced and fully refundable upon passing. Once you're funded, you'll be able to keep up to 85% of your trading profits. Finally, a rule we know swing traders will love: you can hold your positions over the weekend. For a limited time, get 15% off any of their account challenges with promo code A1Trading15. That's 15% off any account challenge with code A1Trading15. If you're ready to get funded, we're dropping a link in the chat right now, and you can also find it in the description down below. So go ahead and get signed up today for 15% off with promo code A1Trading15. Now, back to the show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another live stream, and we are again, we're coming in on some big moves here for the market, of course, with some heavy news coming. I'm here joined by James. Hey, James, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Nick?
I am good. I'm just getting into a NASDAQ trade, so I've got a little bit of a eventful morning. But before we jump into trades and analysis and that sort of thing, James, what are we looking at anything today in terms of news? And of course, what's our big one for tomorrow?
Yeah, so today here at 10 o'clock, we are going to have the CB Consumer Confidence. You can see right here. That's going to be our big U.S. news event of today, but we have a much bigger U.S. news event happening tomorrow. That's really what I want to talk about, and that is the FOMC here. We are having the Federal Open Market Committee meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time over here in the U.S., where we will get a new interest rate decision. Right now, forecasted to raise 25 basis points up to 5.5%. Inflation has been coming down. We had in our latest CPI report about 2 weeks ago, we actually had a beat in the inflation rate. It dropped even lower than what was forecasted. So the Fed's plan for all of these rate hikes, this long rate hike cycle that we have been in for the past couple of months, seems to be paying off the way the Fed intended it to, and inflation has been dropping rather steadily, and in some cases, like our latest CPI report, much quicker than even expected. So one more interest rate hike is kind of what is forecasted. 5.5 may be the last one we see until another pause next month, potentially. We'll just have to see. But yeah, FOMC tomorrow is going to be a big stream. So we will most likely not have a morning stream tomorrow. We will just do the afternoon stream at 2 p.m. for the FOMC. Well, we'll start earlier than that, around 1:30. For our big FOMC event tomorrow. That'll be a huge one.
Yep, and of course we will be live streaming for that event. James and Chandler, he's the guy behind the scenes. We have two producers that make these shows possible, so big thank you to James yourself as well as to Chandler for making this stuff happen. And James, we'll check back with you later, get some analysis going here as we get started with the markets, and we'll come back to you later.
Sure. All right. Have a good stream.
See you, James. Thanks. All right, guys. So taking a look at markets here, things kicking off. I'm in a NAS trade right now. I picked this up here just moments before the stream, a couple minutes here. And I liked this rejection off of the lows. You can see these big candles came in. I am trading, by the way, on Webull. It is a brokerage for U.S. citizens. I can't trade CFDs. Unfortunately, the way regulations work in the United States, CFDs are illegal. We can't trade them. So if I want to trade the U.S. indices, I usually just trade them on the NASDAQ ETF, which is the QQQs. But again, I am long NASDAQ here this morning. After this rejection, I liked it. I've been wanting to buy it anyways, and this was my opportunity. trade that I saw this morning. So after this rejection off the wicks, I went ahead and picked it up. So I've got a trade open. Again, stop loss is in place, you know, $135 of profit right now. We'll see if this one can push higher. As we get started, guys, do me a quick favor. If you guys would let me know which charts would you like me to take a look at today. We're going to be doing some streaming here, of course, going through several different charts, analysis, that sort of thing. I will talk about trades that I am looking at, and of course, this is live trading, so you know I'm showing you my real P&L as we get into the markets. But of course, we'll also have guests coming on the show. We have Tom, and I think Frank might make an appearance as well to go over what's happening in the markets. So let us know what you would like us to cover. It seems like we've got a lot of gold requests in the chat. So let me be transparent with you guys. I took 2 losses now on gold. Gold has not been kind to me. Well, I should say, you know, I'm taking small losses. These are not catastrophic losses. But I took 2 different losses with 2 different attempts to go long on gold. Price action just did not agree with my setup. So I'll show you guys my 2 entries on the long side. And of course, in hindsight, I look like an idiot with these trades. But, you know, trading is not about hindsight. You know, the hard part about trading is that it's very easy to trade the left-hand side of the screen. It's very hard to trade the right-hand side of the screen. Basically, no one knows exactly what's going to happen next. Everyone just likes to talk hindsight, right? Everyone is right in their hindsight account. I listened to a guy that I've watched for a number of years. His name is Clay Trader on YouTube. And his expression that he uses all the time is he says, I'm a multi-billionaire in my hindsight trading account. So, yeah, I love that expression because it's very true. Anyways, I picked up a gold position here, did not work out. I picked up another gold position here, did not work out. Both of these levels I still liked. I thought they had potential. I thought the dollar would roll over. And when we go to the DXY here, the US dollar, for people wondering, you know, Nick, where are you at with the dollar? Well, here's the thing. I'm not bullish on the dollar by any means on a longer term basis, but there is something going on with the dollar I think we need to talk about. Yesterday, we marked up this area on the chart, the 101 level, 101, right? On the DXY, this is the dollar index. Well, the dollar index, I thought this was why I was looking for gold longs. I thought that the dollar index would roll over as we approached this key level of resistance. Oftentimes enough, it does hold a key level of resistance like that where you can make some good money. But this is the thing about trading. Nothing works all of the time. Otherwise, everybody and their brother and mother and sister would be doing this. There's a reason in trading. It's very rare to meet people who actually trade profitably and have done it for a long time. It's harder than it looks. Anyways, where are we at with the dollar? Well, this breaking out at the 101 level, what that tells me is we probably need to start looking for our next key level of resistance. And this is why, guys, I think on the lower timeframes, very short term, I'm not buying gold again because I think the dollar may be due for a bit of a zone to zone play here. Let's drop down to the 4-hour chart so I can show you exactly what I mean. Remember from the daily chart, we marked out the 2 zones of key resistance off the daily chart. We're now looking at the 4-hour and we broke out and even retested this zone. I think short term, the dollar makes a move up to 102. Okay. This is just my opinion. As always with these streams, I'm not here to give you the answers to the test because I don't have the answers. I am not I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a magician. As traders, all we can do is take probability-based decisions on your trading, right? We don't know what the market's going to do with certainty. We weigh the odds. We take probabilities into account. We risk small. And over time, if your strategy is actually has an edge, over time it will produce more profit than loss. That is how trading works 101. Okay. So again, daily chart key level of resistance I think is still up in this 102 area. And so now that we've broken out of this key zone here, I think there's a bit of a V move here that could squeeze its way back up to this 102 level. So if you're watching dollar pairs, right, what I'm saying here is I think short term, the dollar strength is here. But again, be very cautious with dollar strength. I would say be very careful getting too overconfident with this move because we are ahead of a Fed meeting, in which case I still expect the Fed to start to pivot its narrative towards we're going to pause rate hikes and we're going to be data dependent kind of thing. I expect probably tomorrow's meeting, just based on what the Fed, their habits, Jerome Powell in his commentary usually stays on the cautious side. It's his job to stay cautious, right? And I think he probably will say, hey, maybe he acknowledges that inflation is moving in the right direction. That'd be super bearish for the dollar, bullish for my NAS position, gold potentially. But he may also kind of come at it with a very cautious tone where he's like, we still think we may need to see rate hikes, and that's going to cause the market to react massively. That's why tomorrow's report, guys, is so key. And I want to just, as we get started here, again, we have a very loaded plate. I want to make sure you guys stay up to date and informed on all of this stuff. Do me a quick favor here. Hit that thumbs up button on the stream, but more important for yourself at home, if you guys would hit the notification bell on the channel here right now. If you hit that notification bell, what it's going to do is it's going to tell YouTube to alert you when the live stream happens. So again, we will be live for these really major events that are coming on. And I want to invite you guys, come back and hang out with us, watch the charts, watch the news with us. We will be talking trade setups in real time. So I want to invite you to come back. Let's go back and check on that NAS trade. I am still long NAS, up $150 on this trade right now. 130 right now. So you can see my P&L on the bottom right hand of the screen. So I am trading NASDAQ long. I've got this position. I called this out inside of our Discord channel. Let me also real quick, as we, before I forget, if you guys would like to join our Discord channel, inside of our Discord channel, you can see all the trade alerts being shared by myself and Frank, who's a regular contributor on our live streams. If you guys have not seen Frank, he's here pretty regularly on the show. He pops in and he, gives us all the answers, and then he magically flies away. He's like kind of like a fairy. Anyways, Frank the fairy. Anyways, I'm kidding. But if you guys would like to join our Discord channel, we're going to drop a link right now in the chat. Click this link and it'll take you to where you can join the Discord channel. Inside of the Discord channel, there's trade alerts being shared. There's free PDFs to download if you're serious about this stuff and you want to learn. We also have daily analysis being shared. Frank does a lot of our analysis there. So, trade ideas, setups, technical and fundamental analysis sent directly to your phone or computer. And a lot of this stuff is actually genuinely free. So if you'd like to join the free Discord, right here, we've got it up on the screen. It's in your chat box. And if you're watching the live stream back, I know a lot of people watch these recordings later on. If you're watching later on, it should be in the description below as well. Fill out that form. You'll be invited to join our Discord channel. Emmanuel says he's also long on NASDAQ. Yeah, I mean, I like the trade. We'll see if it can play out. And again, I have a stop loss on my trade for a reason. Whenever I put a stop, what I'm saying is if the market does not do what I'm expecting it to do and it rolls over, I'm going to stop out. Now, this is a pretty tight stop loss, and it's a lower time frame trade. I'm on a 30-minute chart, so this is not the usual 4-hour, 1-hour chart. I like this setup on the lower time frames. I'm very bullish NASDAQ, but again, I want to have a tight stop because we do have Fed meeting tomorrow. So if it doesn't start moving in the right direction, I'm just going to take my loss pretty quick. All right, so we've got Frank in the back room here. Let's just bring in Frank for just a 2 or 3 minute segment, and then we'll let him go and we'll say hello to Tom. Hey Frank, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's pretty good, man. What are you trading? Are you still in gold? I got stopped out personally.
Yeah, I had a pretty wide stop on gold, so I'm still hovering. I'm in drawdown. I think I'm in at 1967, but just putting the stop below that low from July 17th. So that green candle a little far back.
Got it. Okay.
Right here.
So over here.
So yeah, just because like you said, the Fed meeting coming up, so I know there's going to be a lot of swings, could be in either direction. So it doesn't affect my bullish bias on gold, but I don't want to get stopped out too quickly before this decision happens, which is I'm also looking at indices as well, but I haven't entered. I do like S&P though. If we pulled that up on the 1 hour, there's like one candle. Yeah, this recent candles could be a higher low, also looking a little strong. But I guess if you were to go long on one of them, you could still have the same bias on both. Although the Dow has been outperforming both these indices so far, which is kind of unusual to see. But I guess
I've noticed that. And Price action's really clean on the Dow right now. I mean, you got to think a lot of day traders, swing traders are probably looking to this level. There's probably a nice, buy side interest around this area, 35,340, let's call it, on the Dow. Yeah, I mean, I like this. I would say the Dow is moving perhaps the cleanest of the three. I did take
Yeah.
NASDAQ just because I like the way it moves very quick, and the percentages can be very quick as well. I, of course, took a smaller size due to that. But yeah, I mean, so I do also like your idea on S&P. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out. So you've got gold. Do you have any other open trades, Frank?
Just gold for now. Looking at indices and also euro pairs. I want to see
Okay.
euro dollar. I want to see that come down to support around 1.1 almost. There's a trend line and there's just a previous top, which could be another demand zone. So just seeing price
Yeah.
come down a little more. I'm more bearish dollar than I am euro. So
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I like this setup. That's and that's one of those things, Frank. This is a daily chart, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red candles in a row here. A very rare to get that many red candles in a row. If it shoots down another day or two, gets us down to that 1.1, I like that trade a lot. This is a longer term chart. We're looking at a daily chart here. You got your trend line that you mentioned drawn to the upside, key level of support, probably a bit overextended. I like that trade a lot. I like the in the currency side, that euro looks a little oversold in my opinion as well.
yeah, that and euro yen, I would say, just because the two kind of opposite central banks. I guess the question is, when is the BOJ going to step in? But there's really no indication of it anytime soon. So we're seeing one ECB fighting the inflation, getting it down to 2%. Meanwhile, Japan going over their inflation target of 2%. They're sitting like somewhere over 3%, and it's probably just going to keep rising. So
yep, should be interesting, Frank. We'll have a big stream tomorrow. Of course, we'll have to bring you back and talk setups as we do have the big news. I'll thank you for coming on, and we'll go to a quick break, and then we'll bring Tom in after you. So Frank, we'll see you next time. Thanks for the commentary, man.
thanks.
All right. And we're going to take a quick break, guys, and then we're going to bring Tom on to go over some technical setups. Tom generally finds himself more often on the currency pair side of things, which I know the audience likes to get a little bit of everything. So that's why we have Tom, the specialist for currencies, coming up right next after this quick break. So check this out. We'll come back to Tom.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, guys, and we are back with Tom. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
Yeah, morning, Nick. All good, thanks.
Glad to have you back on the show. And just a little bit of introduction. I mentioned it before we brought you on, Tom, but Tom has been coming on the show for quite some time. He specializes in currency pairs a lot. He also will take sometimes if I poke him enough, he'll take a look at the indices for me. But Tom, welcome back to the show. And I've got a NASDAQ trade. Speaking of which, it's going all right. We'll see if this one can hold. What are you looking at today? What do you got on your radar?
Yeah, so let's take a look at the charts then, Nick. So, there's a lot of talk about the US dollar pairs, and I just want to, concur with Frank. There's a really nice level on the euro US dollar at the moment. If we sort of bring this down a little bit, there's an area here that I really like for euro US dollar. We've got not only have we got a horizontal level, but we've also got the moving average 20, which I use as dynamic support. So in terms of a level, I really like it in terms of, taking buys back up to here. But it's not a trade for me today, because if you look at this candle, I just cannot buy a candle that looks like that. You know, it's not a trade for me today, depending on what this candle does. You know, today's candle, it might be a trade tomorrow. So let's see. But then you also have to bear in mind, you know, we've got the Fed tomorrow. So, you know, we may have to wait a couple of days before we get a trade here. But just in terms of a level, I really like this level. And it's the same for the pound US dollar. Yeah, here we are. So pound US dollar, very similar scenario. You know, we're clearly in an uptrend. We've retraced to a really nice area of value. You know, and when I talk about value, we just got so much room for this trade to move into. And again, we've got the moving average 20 as dynamic support, and we've got this level through here, you know, that is horizontal support. So, you know, really like a couple of these setups, but, you know, we've got the Fed coming out tomorrow. It's difficult to commit to them at the moment. So, yeah, I'm looking at those two.
I like those. Tom, I will say, I think, you know, pound and euro have been not necessarily, you know, on my direct watch list, but Frank, we've talked about those two charts specifically. They've both pulled back a little bit. And I think that if you're bearish dollar, those are some interesting trades right now, because you've got the pound, which, you know, had some weak PMI numbers. It had some lower than expected CPI that dragged the pound down, but still it doesn't change the fact that, again, you mentioned we have Fed meeting tomorrow. They are almost certain to raise rates. That is not surprising. That, you know, that's what everyone expects. But the more important question is, from there, does that story continue? Or do they want to rate hike again, or do they want to pause? And that's where the volatility will come, because everyone knows what's going to happen in July. Sometimes that could be confusing. But again, I think your risk to reward, as you're mentioning with these pullbacks here, you're coming into technical levels. You've had several days of selling. The risk to reward there looks really nice in some of these euro and pound crosses. You know, I think, Tom, with the euro and pound against the dollar, that's one side of the interesting story. Do you have any other euro or pound pairs or crosses, perhaps against the yen or the Swiss franc, or any other crosses that interest you, or not so much?
Well, one chart that's quite interesting is the euro pound, because if you think about it, we're interested in buying euro US dollar, we're interested in buying pound US dollar. But if I had to choose one, then, you know, we could look at the euro pound, and that will give us an inclination as which one could potentially be a better trade. So in terms of a weekly chart, I really like euro pound as at this level. Okay, so the weekly chart, you can see price has come down. Yeah, structurally, we're in a downtrend. Even at this point up here, we are still in a downtrend. These highs, these last highs, haven't broke, and we got this wick that closed back into this level, and we're at the moving average 20. I really like that combination of, you know, dynamic support in terms of a moving average and horizontal support. And you know that you can see that this is already, we're seeing a lot of selling pressure at this level. I mean, if we traded the weekly chart, excuse me, if we traded the weekly chart only, you know, potentially we could take this trade back down to these lows. But if we look at the day chart, it's a slightly different picture. So this was a target we had in. I didn't actually get in this trade. I didn't have a setup, but this was a target we had, this blue line. But day structure for me, you know, once it breaks these highs here, you know, we're in an uptrend. Okay, so we're in a daily uptrend, a weekly downtrend where we've been shorting from here. So, you know, slightly mixed messages here, but if I had to trade this pair, I would still look for euro pound shorts, potentially, you know, a weekly play back down to these levels. So yeah, if we go back to the euro US dollar, pound US dollar trade idea, I would look for pound US dollar over euro US dollar for this reason.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, and I like the way you broke that down for us, Tom, in terms of, time frames. That's a big thing. A lot of times traders struggle with that is, guys, what Tom is referring to here, he's shifting time frames, looking at the weekly and then getting confirmation and then taking it down to the daily chart. And, you could really hypothetically do that all the way down the chain, down to, the 1 hour or even lower. So you have all these options. I think that it is an important thing to learn how to take a look at multiple time frames in order to kind of build a more full picture of what the chart is telling you. So, I can give just a quick follow-up idea with my NASDAQ concept. I'm very bullish on the NASDAQ on the higher time frames, but you can see my chart my risk reward looks ridiculous on the daily chart. It's because I didn't actually take this trade setup off of the daily. I just liked the direction. I like the strength overall in the daily chart. But then when you start breaking it down, you say, okay, 4-hour chart. Well, we've been in consolidation and clearly there's a little bit of some wicks off the bottom. Okay, cool. Now down to the hourly chart. Okay, now we start to see a zone here that was kind of upper limits to consolidation. We had the break here. And when we take it down to the 30-minute chart, which is where I actually executed this trade, we had the break, came back in, wicked off the bottom here, and this is where I entered the trade. So, it is a powerful thing to take a look if you're going to be a technical trader, to understand the concept of multiple time frames and understand a full picture to get better confirmation on your trades. Tom, thank you for sharing that. And I also just want to say, let's make sure to plug Tom here before I forget. If you want more technical analysis, more setups, more ideas, strategy concepts, Tom is your guy. He's got a channel here on YouTube as well. Of course, he's a guest on today's show. If you guys would like to check out his YouTube channel, it's just been linked in the chat here for you. So go make sure to subscribe to his channel. It's called Simply Forex here on YouTube. Tom, kind of brief here today. We've been juggling through a bunch of traders and setups today. But again, I want to make sure everybody make sure to go subscribe to Tom, check him out. And Tom, maybe I'm out of town next week, and I hear that you're going to be helping us out, tuning in with the rest of our guests here next week. So look forward to, I'll be watching them back.
Okay. And have a nice holiday, Nick. Much deserved.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tom. Yeah. Have a great day, Tom. And again, guys, go check them out. And Tom, we'll see you back later on.
Cheers, Nick. See you, mate.
All right. Yes. So guys, NASDAQ's still moving here, up about $486 on this trade. Starting out very, very nice. And again, I like the way that we rejected, just as, I don't want to say as expected, but as anticipated, we did actually get the rejection follow through off of these wicks. So again, big wicks off the bottom, was tagging at a support level. I like this one from a fundamental and a technical perspective. This is one of my favorite things to trade. I trade the NASDAQ very frequently. NASDAQ and S&P both, hand in hand. I trade them both. But I am still long on this one. At this point, we are floating, what is this? Floating a 1.5 to 1. So cannot complain about that. We've got a nice mover here and a nice pop on the open here this morning. So Jack the Ripper says, I just blew my account buying NASDAQ. I assume you maybe meant on a longer term chart, because right now it's gone straight up. Unless your chart, I will say, if you're trading, here's a warning. I say this very frequently on my channel. If you are trading NASDAQ on an FX broker, actually, can you guys do me a favor? In the audience, do you guys trade on a forex broker type FX? If you trade on a futures broker type futures, and if you trade on a stock broker type stock broker, you can't actually trade indices on all three of these things, but there is a huge warning. You have to have a large account size to trade indices on an FX broker, because the contract size that forex brokers have is very, very large. This is why it's not that capital size is necessarily a problem, but for me, I can't trade CFDs on an FX broker. These are called CFDs when you trade on a forex broker. I can't trade CFDs as a US client. On regulated brokers, US clients, it's illegal to trade CFDs for US clients. Of course, for other places that doesn't apply to you, or may or may not, just depends your country. I can't, give you legal advice on that because I don't know. But for me, I can't trade CFDs. So what I have to do is I have to trade one of these. If you guys are US people, I like to say this frequently. We do have a a partner broker. The broker that I'm using right now is actually going to be linked in the chat real quick. If Chandler, if you wouldn't mind dropping the link for this broker, if you are somebody in the United States and you're looking to trade indices the way I do, I trade through ETFs. I find that to be the easiest. I don't personally love trading on the futures market. It's just a personal preference. You can do that just fine though. Here's the Webull link. If you use this link, guys, this is a plug, but it is genuinely my favorite broker I've ever traded on. If you guys would like to check out Webull, there's a very limited number of countries that it's for, but I know it's for US because obviously I'm using it. If you use this link, you do get 12 free shares for a limited time. It's pretty cool. You get free shares when you sign up and deposit even just 1 penny. And then you can sell the shares if you don't want them. So totally up to you. But again, check it out. Took NASDAQ yesterday, Emmanuel says. Yeah, NASDAQ, it's kind of gone into a range, but I just liked this breakout on the lower time frames. We're floating 420 bucks on this move. Let's go take a quick look at gold, see what's going on. And by the way, reasoning behind this trade, it was on my watch list this morning. I picked up NAS. I was looking at SPY as well, S&P and Dow. All three of the indices looking strong. Same with gold. Gold looking as a possible strong buy. So, yep, we got news coming in here, guys. We just had news come out. I'm sorry for missing that. Let me refresh this page. Let's see. Today we had CB consumer confidence came out better than expected. Let's take a look at the dollar here. Dollar making a move up, still strong. Yep, dollar strength. And consumer confidence is, of course, not necessarily a bad thing for stock market. So XAUUSD, take a look at gold here. Gold probably pushing lower. There it is. And again, I mentioned this. Let me be transparent. I've got a winner running right now, but I took 2 losses in the last week on gold. I picked it up long here, didn't work out. Picked it up long here, kind of worked out, and then lost. So took 2 losses on gold. So don't let me fool you or don't be deceived. I take losses just like every other trader on the planet. And I try and talk about them as frequently as I can, both my wins and my losses. So I took a loss on gold recently. It did not work out. A little bit frustrating because, again, I loved the technical setup, but it just sometimes doesn't work out, right? Most times, you know, a trend can continue. I thought it would continue here. I tried again here, right? Both trades did not work out. And so I took 2 losses on gold. So gold is being stubborn. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Gold being a little bit of a trouble train for us recently, but that's okay because NASDAQ currently is working out very nicely. We've got $450 profit running on this one. And we'll see if that one wants to follow through today. So CB consumer confidence came out 117 for July. EDGEFINDER always gives signals at the end of the trend. COT always shifts to opposite side after I enter the same side as them. Jack the Ripper. So here's the thing. The EDGEFINDER has been bullish, for example, on the NASDAQ for several weeks now. And I've been able to catch a lot of great trades on the NASDAQ. The problem is no signal produced by software, produced by a person, produced by Warren Buffett. Nothing is perfect all of the time. And if you're not risking properly, it's very easy to blow accounts, blow money. And if you don't have a good significant amount of capital, you should absolutely not be trading indices on an FX broker. I think if you're going to trade NASDAQ, I think you minimum have to have 10K in an account on FX brokers because the contract size is huge. So you can't even, like a 0.01 lot size is a big trade unless you have a good sized account. So I don't even recommend anybody to touch NASDAQ on an FX broker unless you have a good sized account. Are you now trading on the lower time frames? Mighty King, thank you for the question. I mean, I'm still trading, 1 hour and 30-minute charts. This is what pretty much where I always do my execution is on the 1 hour or the 30-minute in rare cases. In this particular case, I did actually execute on the 30-minute chart, but my analysis is still higher time frame, right? I'm still looking at it from like a 4-hour daily chart perspective. But yeah, still holding on to the NAS. Gold making a bit of a recovery move here. Let's take a look at Euro Yen. We talked about this earlier on the stream. Still pulling back. Euro USD. Also seeing some decline. May give Frank his opportunity. Frank talked about this off the daily chart earlier in the stream. Pullback coming to this area could be interesting. It's not on the watch list for me today. Euro yen is, however, that could be interesting. NAS is still on there, of course. Aussie yen, Kiwi yen, pound dollar as possible short trades on the lower time frames. It seems like that could be interesting. Smart money tracker can be really useful. This gives us an idea of overall current positioning from institutional money. Gold, here's the thing. I'm still a buyer on gold if technicals start to show some promise again. Big increase in longs last week. There was a big buy pressure on the gold market last week from the COT data. This is, of course, tracking hedge funds and institutional traders. Big money went long gold last week. And so pushing that as our number one most heavily proportionally bought asset on the EDGEFINDER's COT report data. This is a really, this is the thing. This can be confusing. People would say, well, COT is saying bullish, but then gold is down right now. What's going on? Remember, if you're a newer trader, that can be very confusing. But if you're experienced, you know that no signal is perfect. Hedge funds can actually get it wrong. And sometimes their positionings take time to play out. So they may be bullish on gold. They've actually, for context, I've been streaming obviously for years and years, but I just know from previous months, gold has been a heavy buy pretty much most of this period of time. However, it's been increasing recently. That's why we take a look at net overall positioning, but we also take a look at the change recently. They've been building a buy position, and off the daily chart, still looks promising in my opinion. Gold is, I'm going to wait for it lower time frame to start showing some promise. If you're looking at this thing from a 1 hour chart perspective, I think we need to see some breakouts before things get really interesting. I'm just not in a rush. I took 2 L's trying to buy this, so I'm just going to wait. US 30 is also very scary. It's like 100 contract size or something, which means 0.01 lot size is a whole 1 unit. Yes, it's crazy. Like you cannot trade US 30 unless, I think on US 30 for FX brokers, you need like 50K in an account minimum. You should not, unless you're trading the 1 minute chart. But if you're trading the 1 minute chart, you're going to be spending so much in fees and commissions to your broker. It's crazy. I don't really understand. I don't understand how anybody really trades profitably off the 1 minute chart. Your commissions and your spread on every trade are ridiculously expensive. Like you're battling uphill just the second you get on your chart because you're spending so much money with the broker. Every time you execute a trade, you're paying a spread on the entry, on the exit. You're paying a commission in some cases for some brokers. The noise on the 1 minute chart is hard. This is just my personal opinion, but not just too many disadvantages to the 1 minute chart. In my opinion, let me be careful because I know some people love the 1 minute chart. Do your thing. Don't listen to me. If you're trading the 1 minute chart profitably, do your thing. I'm not here to tell you can't do it. It's just not what I do. I'm starting to doubt COT. Majority of the time is showing the opposite on the chart. Here's the thing. I've used COT data as a confluence factor in my trading for like 5 years now. I can tell you I've been through so many scenarios. There's times where COT looks magical. There's times where COT looks terrible. Overall, there's been more times where COT has really helped my trading, but it's not a magical indicator. This is the thing that we have to go through every day on these streams. Nothing is a perfect magical indicator that tells you when to buy, when to sell all the time. There's no money machines being sold here. Trading is a probabilities thing. And if you have a coin that has a 55% chance of being heads, you're going to bet on that. But it doesn't mean you can't take plenty of losses because that 45% still happens enough times where it can be frustrating, right? This is trading. This is the reality of trading. It's frustrating sometimes. It's not easy. NAS100. Let's see. Are we still doing okay on this trade? We might be giving back some of our profits. Let me go take a look. I'm still long. I won't move my stop until we get a bigger push to the upside. If we do get a bigger push, I'd really like to see this level get broken out. This is a 1 hour chart here that we've got pulled up. The previous swing high, if we could get a break here, that would be really where I start to trail stops. I do have you can see I've got a structure or target structure. I'm not actually taking profit at that level. What I'm doing personally is I just like to track the trade with this tool. What I'm really looking for is a breakout above this, close above this, and that would get me to start trailing my stop loss behind market structure. It's too early in the trade to be doing that though, so I'm just kind of waiting. So, yeah. By the way, guys, I mentioned COT data again. It is not a magical solution, but it is a powerful tool, and I've used it for a number of years. It is a core component to my trading strategy, and I've used it to help me find some of the best trades that I've had. It is not magical. There are times where people get frustrated with it, as people get frustrated with everything, but it is a powerful resource and tool. If you guys would like access to our data, I use this every single day in my analysis. If you would like access to it, we do have a free trial or tour available. If you'd like some training course material as well, if you'd like some guides on how to use this data to help you find better trading setups and to learn more about maybe how I personally use it, or Frank, who's also on my staff and team who helped build this tool. We're a software company out of Atlanta, Georgia. If you guys would like access to our tools, click this link, fill out the form, and you'll be connected with somebody who can give you access to a free course on this material. It can also get you access to, perhaps a trial, or set up a call with us if you'd like to go over the tool or ask some questions about it. Of course, when it's a live stream like this, there are 330 of you guys and just one of me. So I'm not able to answer everybody's questions, but if you have questions, click this link. It'll take you to where you can find out more information, or you can connect with a real person on my staff. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's live stream. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We will be back tomorrow for a really big stream for the Fed meeting. Make sure to hit that bell button as well next to the subscribe button. It'll notify you whenever we go live. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and we will see you back tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks for watching the show. But before you go, we are officially dropping a 100% free trading course for people who are looking to get better in their trading and learn about things like technical analysis and fundamental analysis and risk on and risk off and sentiment analysis and risk management. We have so many different topics, and we have compiled a library for you guys 100% for free. So let's go through some of the stuff here. We have technical analysis handbook. We have the risk on, risk off guide, a trading template or plan template if you need help building a trading plan, technical analysis playbooks. So definitely check this out. Again, link down below in the description. We have so much free value on our site here. I highly encourage you guys to take advantage of this free resources, and I hope that they genuinely are very helpful. You have economic figures, you have lessons on this, monetary policy. This is a big one. Retail sentiment versus smart money, seasonal trends, geopolitical events. For currency traders out there, we have some lessons here on volatility, which pairs to trade for newer traders, the highest to lowest risk things, moving averages. We also have technical guides, the fundamental analysis side of this stuff. Again, you can get access to this with the link in the description. You can see we have guides on support and resistance, trend lines, moving averages, candlesticks, MACD indicator, relative strength index, candlestick patterns. I mean, this is stuff that I wish I had at my disposal when I was getting into trading, and now you guys do. So again, take advantage. And I just want to say yet again, thank you guys so much for being such an incredible audience. Enjoy these resources.